Jai Shri. Welcome to my tutorial for the crochet top with side ties. I'll be making a size small for this tutorial, and the measurements are the bust or chest is 16.5 inches or 42 centimeters. The length of the top is 19 inches or 48 centimeters. The length of the sleeve is 18 inches or 46 centimeters. We'll begin with the top by working the bands, which you see at the bottom of the top, that form the side ties. From each of these bands, we'll work the body of the top, either the front or the back. The pattern is the same. Thereafter, we'll assemble and seam the front and back, right sides facing in, along the sides and at the shoulders. We'll work the sleeves directly onto the top. The stitch pattern that I chose for the top is a 2-round repeat, and you'll see that it's rather pretty on both sides. You decide which side will be the right side and the wrong side. I must admit it did get me a bit confused. Once I decided on which side I preferred being the right side, I made sure that I matched it up correctly. I didn't want the right side on the front and the wrong side on the back. So make sure that when we're assembling the top, you have both right sides facing in and the wrong sides facing out. And also when working the sleeve, make sure that you're working it the right way around. Let's begin. Hope you enjoy this tutorial. We'll begin with the band or tie that's at the bottom of the top. Begin with a slip knot. Then it's chain 8. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Into the second chain from the hook, single crochet. So to single crochet, insert your hook into the second chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2 loops on the hook. Continue working single crochets to the end of the round. I now have 7 stitches across. Round 2, it's chain 1 and turn. Work single crochets all across. So into that stitch, insert the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2 loops on the hook. Continue working single crochets to the end of the round. Repeat round 2 until the tie or band measures 60 inches or 152.5 centimeters in length. Repeat for the second tie or band. With the band or tie complete, fold in half and mark off the folded part with a stitch marker. Open up the band fully. You have your stitch marker marking off the center of the band. So on either side of the band, we need to count 39 of these little spaces or holes. So starting from one side of the stitch marker, we'll count each of these little spaces or holes. Count 39 spaces or holes on either side of the stitch marker and mark off that space with a stitch marker on either side. Into those little spaces or holes, we'll be using them to work our stitches. So we have 79 spaces from one stitch marker to the third stitch marker. We can now remove the center stitch marker as it is no longer needed. Insert the hook into that space that's marked by the first stitch marker, and I formed a slip knot on the yarn which I'll attach to the hook. Then it's pulled through and chain 1 to secure. Chain 1 counts as a stitch. We'll now work single crochets from one stitch marker to the next, working those single crochets into those spaces that were created, that we counted. Continue to the next stitch marker. To complete round 1, work the last single crochet into that space that's marked by the second stitch marker. So that gives us 79 stitches running across from stitch marker to stitch marker. So the pattern begins at round 2. It's chain 1 and turn. So into the same stitch from where the chain 1 comes out of, single crochet. Skip 2 stitches, and into that third stitch we'll work 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, all into the one stitch. So it's skip 2, and to work the first double crochet, yarn over, insert the hook into the stitch, yarn over, go through 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, go through 2 loops on the hook. So another double crochet into that same stitch, then it's a chain 2 followed by 2 more double crochets into that same stitch. Then it's skip 2, and into that next stitch, the third stitch, single crochet. So it's skip 2, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, skip 2, single crochet. Continue to the end of the round. To end round 2, it's single crochet into the last stitch. Round 3, chain 4 and turn. Here we'll work a double crochet into that same stitch from where the chain 4 comes out of. Then it's chain 1 and single crochet into that chain 2 space. So here on after, follow the pattern to the end of the round. It's chain 1, then it's into that single crochet from the previous round. We'll work a double crochet, chain 2 and a double crochet all into that one stitch. Then it's chain 1 and single crochet into that chain 2 space. So the repeat is chain 1 into that single crochet from the previous round, work a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, then it's chain 1 and a single crochet into that chain 2 space from the previous round. Repeat to the end of the round. To end round 3, I've worked that last single crochet into that chain 2 space from the previous round, and then it's chain 1 and work 2 double crochets into the last stitch. 1 and 2. Round 4, chain 1 and turn. Here I'll work a single crochet into that same stitch where I've chained 1. So into that same stitch, work a single crochet. Then we'll work 2 double crochets, chain 2 double crochets into this chain 1 space, or single crochet rather, from the previous round. So into that single crochet, work 2 double crochets, chain 2 double crochets, all into that single crochet from the previous round. So here on after, we'll repeat the pattern to the end. It's a single crochet into that chain 2 space from the previous round, and then into that single crochet that we worked into the chain 2 space from the round before, we'll work 2 double crochets, chain 2 double crochets. It's 1, 2 double crochets, chain 2 double crochets, all into that single crochet. So again, to repeat the pattern, it's a single crochet into that chain 2 space from the previous round, and then into that single crochet, it's 2 double crochets, chain 2 double crochets, all into that single crochet from the previous round. Continue with the pattern to the end of the round. I've come to the end of round 4, working that last 2 double crochets, chain 2 double crochets into that single crochet from the previous round. To complete round 4, it's a single crochet into that chain 4 space. I've completed to round 26 by repeating round 3 and round 4. Should you want a longer length on the top, repeat round 3 and round 4 until the required length. Remember to end on a round 4 sequence. That would be the pattern sequence with the 2 double crochet, chain 2 double crochet. We've also stopped at the edges, which would become our underarm area. Round 27, chain 1 and turn. Work a single crochet into that first stitch as chain 1. Work 3 slip stitches to get to the chain 2 space. So that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. Now that I'm at the chain 2 space, work a single crochet into that space. The pattern sequence for the rest of the round is chain 1 and into that single crochet from the previous round, work a double crochet, chain 2 double crochet. Then it's a chain 1 and single crochet into that chain 2 space. Continue to the end of the round. So it's now a repeat of round 3. To complete round 27, I've worked the double crochet, chain 1 double crochet into that last single crochet just before the last chain 2 space. Then it's a chain 1 and single crochet into that chain 2 space. That completes round 27. So if you look closely, we've ended on the last chain 2 space. We haven't completed it to the end. Round 28, chain 4, 1 2 3 4 and turn. Work a double crochet into that same stitch from chain 4. Single crochet into the chain 2 space. We'll now repeat the pattern to the end of the round. So into this single crochet from the previous round, work a 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Single crochet into the chain 2 space. Continue to the end of the round. This is a repeat of round 4. To complete round 28, I've single crocheted into that last chain 2 space. The chain 2 space, the one before the one that we've worked the single crochet into from the previous round. So then to complete it, it's double crochet twice into that single crochet from the previous round. The one where we've worked that single crochet into that chain 2 space. So you can see that we've ended the round, leaving a little notch behind. Round 29, it's chain 1 and turn. Single crochet into the same stitch as chain 1. Then it's chain 1 and into that single crochet from the previous round, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. Then it's a chain 1 and a single crochet into the chain 2 space, a chain 1, a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet into that chain single crochet from the previous round. So this round 29, is a repeat of round 3. You'll also notice that we've created a little notch here on either side, and that becomes the underarm area of the top. So that's the notch that we've created on either side. I've come to the end of round 29. I've worked the double crochet, chain 2, double crochet into that last single crochet. To end round 29, it's chain 1 and single crochet into that chain 4 space from the previous round. Round 30, chain 4 and turn. Here we'll work a double crochet into that same stitch from where the chain 4 comes out of. Then it's single crochet into that chain 2 space. So the pattern from here on to the end of the round is 2 double crochets, chain 2 double crochets into that single crochet from the previous round. Chain 2. Then single crochet into the chain 2 space from the previous round. So round 30 is a repeat of round 4. Working those 2 double crochets, chain 2 double crochets into that single crochet from the previous round, and a single crochet into the chain 2 space from the previous round. You'll notice that the difference here from the round 3 and the round 4 sequence is that now we're beginning the round 3 sequence with a single crochet, and we're ending it with a single crochet, and we're beginning the round 4 sequence with a chain 4 and a double crochet, and we're ending it with 2 double crochets. To end round 30, I've single crocheted into that last chain 2 space. Then it's work 2 double crochets into the last stitch. After round 30, change the hook to a 3mm hook. We'll now complete the rest of the top using the 3mm hook. Continue to round 36 by repeating round 29 and round 30. I've now placed 2 stitch markers on either side of the piece to mark off the neckline. So the first stitch marker, I've counted the 3rd chain 2 space and I've placed a stitch marker into that space, and on the other side the 3rd chain 2 space with another stitch marker. In between the 2 stitch markers marks off the neckline. Round 41, we'll repeat round 29 to the stitch marker. So that's chain 1 and turn. Into that same stitch, work a single crochet. Then it's chain 1, and into that single crochet from the previous round, work a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. Then it's a chain 1, into the chain 2 space, work a single crochet, chain 1, again into that single crochet from the previous round, work a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, then it's a chain 1, a single crochet into the chain 2 space, chain 1, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet into the single crochet from the previous round, then work a single crochet into that chain 2 space marked by the stitch marker, replacing the stitch marker into the single crochet. We'll now work single crochets to the next stitch marker. Here we'll work single crochets into all the double crochets from the previous round, a single crochet into the single crochets from the previous round, and 1 single crochet into the chain 2 spaces. So that's a single crochet into the double crochets, a single crochet into that single crochet from the previous round, single crochet into the double crochets, 1 single crochet into the chain 2 space. Continue with single crochets to the next stitch marker. I've worked single crochets to the second stitch marker. Into that chain 2 space marked by the stitch marker, I'll work a single crochet, replacing the stitch marker into the single crochet. Then it's chain 1, and we'll repeat round 29 to the end of the round, working a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet into that single crochet from the previous round. Then it's a chain 1, single crochet into the chain 2 space, chain 1, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet into that single crochet from the previous round, chain 1, single crochet into the chain 2 space, chain 1, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet into that chain single crochet from the previous round, chain 1, and end with a single crochet into that space created by the chain 4. Round 38, chain 4 and turn. To continue with round 38 is a repeat of round 30 to the first stitch marker. So then it's work a double crochet into that same stitch from the chain 4, then it's a single crochet into that chain 2 space, then it's 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets into that single crochet from the previous round, a single crochet into the chain 2 space, again 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets into that single crochet from the previous round, a single crochet into the chain 2 space, into the stitch marked by the stitch marker. I'll work 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, replacing the stitch marker into the chain 2 space. Then it's skip the next 2 stitches and continue working single crochets to the next stitch marker. So I've skipped those 2 double crochets from the previous round and I've continued working single crochets. I've worked single crochets to the next stitch marker, stopping 2 stitches before that stitch marker. So into that stitch marked by the stitch marker, I'll work 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, replacing the stitch marker into that chain 2 space. Then it's single crochet into the chain 2 space, followed by 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets into that single crochet from the previous round, a single crochet into the chain 2 space, then it's 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets into that single crochet from the previous round, then it's a single crochet into the chain 2 space, and to complete the round it's 2 double crochets into the last stitch. I've repeated round 37 and round 38 until the armhole depth measures 7 inches or 18 centimeters. The armhole depth for a size small is 7 inches. If you measure from the notch that we've created for the underarm to the top of the piece, that would be 7 inches or 18 centimeters. Then fastened off and cut off the excess yarn. So here all these single crochets that we've worked forms the neckline. We have now completed the front of the top, so you'll do the same with the second tie or band that we've created. You'll work the same steps to create the back of the top. Now that I've finished 2 body panels, working my way from the band to the body. Lay one panel on top of the other, right sides facing in. Make certain that you've got it on the correct side. The pattern for the wrong side is different to the one on the right side. So it's right sides facing in. We'll be working on the wrong side of the top. To seam up the sides of the top, I'll leave an allowance of 3 inches and I'll begin at that 3-inch mark. I'll work my way from the mark here to the notch. So that's 3 inches or 7.5 centimeters. Seam up the sides to the notch. Continue to the notch. I've seamed up along the side of the top. You can see that I've left a little space at the bottom. Repeat for the other side. Now seam along the shoulder seams. So we'll start from the outer end and work our way to the chain 2 that's marked by the stitch markers. I'll work my last stitch into that chain 2 space marked by the stitch marker. Then it's fasten off. Repeat for the other shoulder. To work the sleeve, continue working with the right sides facing in. To work the sleeve using the 4mm hook, insert the hook at the underarm of the sleeve. I formed a slip knot on the yarn, which I'll thread through the hook and tighten. Then it's pulled through and chain 1 to secure. So that chain 1, you can mark it off with a stitch marker so that you always know where the round ends and begins. We now need to work 57 plus 2, that's 59 single crochets across the armhole. So that chain 1 counts as 1 single crochet. What I find easy is always marking the center point with a stitch marker. That way I'll work half the number of single crochets across to the stitch marker and the remaining half on the other side. So round 1, work 59 single crochets across. So that was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Continue all across. I've completed the 59 single crochets across the armhole. So to complete round 1, it's slip stitch into that chain 1 from the start of the round, the one that was marked by the stitch marker. Then remove the stitch marker. Round 2, chain 1. So into that chain 1, place the stitch marker again. So the pattern is skip 2 stitches, and into the third one, it's 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Then it's skip 2 and single crochet into that third stitch. Again, skip 2. Then it's 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets all into the one stitch. Skip 2 and single crochet into the next stitch. So continue with the pattern to the end of the round. I've come to the end of round 2 and I've worked that last 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet into the stitch with 2 stitches to go. So I'll skip those 2 stitches and I'll slip stitch into that single crochet that's marked by the stitch marker. Round 3, chain 5. Chain 5 counts as 1 double crochet and chain 2. Into that same stitch as chain 5, work a double crochet. The pattern is chain 1 and into the chain 2 space, single crochet. Chain 1, into the single crochet from the previous round, work a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet all into the one stitch. Then it's a chain 1 into the chain 2 space from the previous round, single crochet. Chain 1 into the single crochet from the previous round, work a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet all into the one stitch. Continue with the pattern to the end of the round. So it's a chain 1, single crochet into the chain 2 space, chain 1, then into that single crochet from the previous round, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. Come to the end of round 3 and I've single crocheted into that last chain 2 space. So then it's chain 1 and slip stitch into the third chain from chain 5. Round 4, slip stitch into that chain 2 space and single crochet into the same chain 2 space. Into the single crochet from the previous round, work 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets all into the one stitch. Then it's a single crochet into that chain 2 space. Round 4 is a repeat of round 2, so continue with the pattern, working 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets into the single crochet from the previous round and a single crochet into the chain 2 spaces. I'm at the end of round 4, working that last 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet into the single crochet from the previous round. So to end the round, it's slip stitch into the single crochet from the start of the round. I've completed the sleeve working to round 48. by repeating round 3 and round 4. Take note that I changed the hook sizes. At round 17 I worked with a 3mm hook, and at round 31 I changed to a 2mm hook. That created a more tapered sleeve. And that completes the crochet top with side ties. All that's left to do is to weave in all the ends.